Ball first and 10 at the 12-yard line of the Seahawks. Sean goes right, has a cutback lane, and he does. He's across the 20, the 25, 30, 35, 40. Here he goes. Are they going to catch him? 40, 35, 30. Touchdown, Seahawks! 12, they're bringing the trophy home. Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champions. Holy catfish! Baldwin's going to throw back to Russell. He's got it! Touchdown! Seahawks! Are you kidding me?
Let's Hawk It Out with your hosts Kevin Porter and Rich Harris.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress. All right, I'll count us down. 3, 2, 1. And we're back with another episode of Let's Hawk It Out. Kevin Porter here for your number one Seattle Seahawks in the NFC West. Introducing my co-host, Rich Harris. What's going on, buddy?
All right. Man, I'm excited as hell watching that game today.
Dude, that was such a good game.
Another win, and it's not like I'm not really starting to be surprised anymore. It's almost like I'm starting to get an expectation kind of sorts, right? It's because I know my team's good. I know that they're working together and they're starting to become really good. And it's like, well, am I going to still be surprised, or is this a new expectation?
Ladies and gentlemen, your Seattle Seahawks have won today's game 31-21 against the Arizona Cardinals. Now we are sitting atop the NFC West at an astounding record of 6-3. Arizona Cardinals fall to 3-6. Rich, like you said, new expectations. I think so. I think that's the expectation to have in regards to the situation.
Yeah. I mean, we've always been talking about being pleasantly surprised, right? So it's like, like I said, I'm switching from pleasantly surprised or surprise in general. It's just like, this is my new expectation of my team. Is just, this is the standards that they have set for themselves.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
The standards they have set.
They have. And look, they've talked about it, and you can see that nobody cares about the credit individually anymore. It's a team effort, and everybody just wants to move forward as a team. And it's natural. It's real natural. And I'm looking at the NFC West like we're talking about, because that's the best route to go. We went in the NFC West. We're at the top of the NFC West still. We get that sucker, and we're in good shape on better advantages, the home field advantage and all that, than just getting a wild card, which, again, we'll take that. But right now, it's looking good. Let's just keep doing that. Let's just keep beating those division rivals, right? Fuck, this is badass, dude. I'm happy.
It was a great Sunday. That's really all I have to start with, is that it was such a great Sunday to go into today's game and watch the Seattle Seahawks. Just, again, it was like we were talking about last week. I kept saying, like, oh, it was a nail biter until the fourth quarter. And, like, it was the same way this week with us against the Arizona Cardinals, man. Like, cause like it was defense all day until, again, the Seattle Seahawks were able to break away, and Geno Smith was able to prove that, again, he has earned his spot as the quarterback here in Seattle, dude. I don't know, man. I'm just very, very much so, like you said earlier, dude. Like, again, a new expectation. It feels like, okay, like our defense is coming out every single week. They're defending the ball. We're creating turnovers. We're doing the things that we need to do. And here we are standing on top of the NFC West. I don't know, dude. Like, it doesn't make, I don't know. It has to be, I don't know. I'm very excited about the Seattle Seahawks and like where we stand and going into a new week, with the Seattle Seahawks win.
Yeah, and remember, we were talking early on about the offense was doing great. Geno in charge early on, and still to this week. And we were wondering when the defense was going to catch up. But, kudos. I had to take note about Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator. We haven't talked about him at all. His offense and his dynamics that are going on, and the way he switches it up, and those triple tight end sets. We were talking about that,
those
right?
Triple tight end sets have been amazing.
Is that something?
Yeah.
And then they might look like they're going to go that way, and then Walker just goes to the opposite side. And that's part of what I want to lead into. But Shane Waldron, he came from the Rams. He was an offensive mindset that everybody knew that had he had a lot of potential. So he's starting to show and prove. So let's keep him in mind. Let's keep watching him and what he's doing with the offense and what's helping making this happen. We're giving a lot of credit to Coach Carroll. We're giving a lot of credit to Gino right now, but we've got to remember Shane Waldron's calling the plays. And then going on the defense, Clint Hurt. This is his first year, his shot, and he took that call when they said your defense needs to show up better. And I heard that they had some meetings. The team, the players themselves got together at one point. And anyway, look at them suckers, man. Like I talk about that hornet's nest, and when the hornets all attack something, our guys are all over the place, and especially those rookies still. Woolen and Bryant are on fire. So I just wanted to point out the defensive and offensive coordinators, because they're the ones that are brainstorming this day in and day out, week to week, and they're the ones that are helping that team make progress and progression. I was trying to say, but I'm trying to mix them. Anyway,
yeah, dude. I think it's important that we give credit to both the offensive coordinators and the defensive coordinators. Again, I don't think we've really brought them up at all on the show
we haven't
the
talked
past
about
9
them.
weeks.
Not even,
really.
Yeah, we didn't talk about them much except for leading into it when we were trying to figure out what our team was back when we started brainstorming this back in April or whatever, before the draft, actually March or whatever we were brainstorming. But yeah, anyway, and so with that said, it's like he brought the other fellow with him, Andy Dickerson, I think is his name, the offensive line coach. He came from the Rams with Shane Waldron, and that whole line and canine. I was telling my wife today, and I have to bring my wife into it because we're sitting here side by side cheering, and she really knows the game more and more. And I think the more I narrate, the more she gets to understand it, right? And I think that's just the way it works with somebody that's willing to listen and learn the game. And she's like open ears. But just watching him rush to the line. And I just kept telling her, I said, he's just got to be a little bit more patient. He just was trying to, it's not always a dive, right? It's not always just a straightforward play. And jog a little bit, take your time and wait for that hole to develop. And then the broadcasters started showing where that hole is. And then later in the game, lo and behold, he just started finding that. He would jog around a little bit and then find that hole and burst through it. And I don't know if you noticed the same thing, but he's adapting and he's developing in front of our eyes, and I love it.
I love it too, Rich. It's great to see that our team is just it's becoming a 360 compass, dude. Like a 360 compass, all around. We're performing on all different levels when it comes to our performance here within the last 4 games now. Our 4-game winning streak here in the last 4 weeks, dude. A whole month's worth of winning in the NFL, and it's not an easy thing to obtain. To obtain a 4-game winning streak, it's not something that happens every night. I mean, obviously you have your Eagles, they're 8-0, whatever. They're out there, they're far ahead of everybody else, it feels like. But nonetheless,
right.
Though, the Seahawks are they're standing their ground, and like going into this Arizona Cardinals game, like again, like I kind of like you said, like I harken back to the first 30 seconds of this episode when you brought on the fact that it's like, is this a new expectation every single week? Are we going to be winning? Are we going to be winning every single down just about, dude? Like we are coming in there every single time, and like we're defending. It feels like every single play is that much more important now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it feels like every single play you're watching, you're just like, this means so much. And
well, the culture's still there, and the culture is apparent. That's the culture that has been established in these last 10, 12, 14 years or whatever, in the Pete Carroll era. And it's just about, I don't know, it's just back to where it was. That's all I'm going to say is there no I in team. Let's just get back to winning and not think about winning necessarily the team you're playing against. Just treat every week as a championship week. Yeah. And now
championship week, every single play.
And that's how they always have been. But it's just like when these guys are seeing themselves win, that helps. But don't get arrogant, or what I call cocky. That's an old school word, cocky, But arrogant. Don't get arrogant. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get too confident that it's just an easy win. Don't ever do that. And these guys don't have that at all. I think the whole team probably has a chip on their shoulder because they're young. They were counted out. We're in the Northwest still. Like I said, they think the rest of the league or the rest of the nation thinks we're in Alaska or something, right? Like we always talk about.
Exactly.
But we're not.
We're not.
We're not. We're relevant.
We're in Washington State.
We're relevant. Fucking
relevant.
Pay attention.
We're within the Continental 48.
Well, you know what? And that's a lot of these guys that come up and play for the Seahawks or pay attention to the history. And that's what I was talking to my wife about again today. Bruce Irvin was in there, and I was like, can you imagine what it's like when a young guy like this and bringing back one of the veterans from the Seahawks Super Bowl winning team and being in the locker room with him? Can you imagine what kind of a caliber that is, or what kind of I really can't put the words of the weight of it in the locker room on the younger players, right? Because some of those guys were probably looking at him as a hero or something back when they were younger, and now here they are 5-6 years later, and they're in the NFL and they're playing side by side with Bruce Irvin, and he's in the locker room with them, and he's actually out there still doing Bruce Irvin type shit,
contributing every single day, dude.
Leading by example. Come on, I mean, so it's really I don't know. I don't just want to brag too much about it or anything because I just like it. I just want to keep everything the way it is. I'm really excited and happy, but let's just keep going and let's just keep sitting here and being a subtle team and somebody that's just like, hey, if everybody's going to count us out, we're just going to keep showing that we're just a team that just wants to play football and learn together and all that. It's a neat thing. It's really, like we kept saying, 2011, 2012, something like that. We've been talking about that for a while, but now I hear other people talking about it too. Oh my God, doesn't it seem like it's a little bit like 2012? I'm like, motherfucker, I've been talking about like that forever.
Dude, I mean, shout out Kobe Bryant, dude. I mean, for the second straight week, he had an interception that was taken away because of flags or whatever the hell, cause a, defensive interference or whatever it was that brought the ball back to the offense. Dude, our defense is stepping up, dude. I know that was like an early complaint, this first couple weeks in the season. Our defense is stepping up so much right now, Rich. We're your Tyreek was it Tyreek Woolen?
Tariq Woolen, yep.
Tariq Woolen. I'm messing up the names and whatever.
No, you're good.
Yeah. But just like all these guys, our corners are coming in, dude. Like like you said, Bruce Irvin coming into the mix. Like it's oh man, it's so awesome to come off on this Sunday, going into this coming week. Be like, yeah, the Seattle Seahawks are number 1 in the NFC West, Rich Harris. Number 1 in the NFC West. Yep,
legitimate number 1, the way we've been seeing it week to week, like you said. Not just that we won these last 4 weeks, but look at the competition these last 4 weeks. The 49ers were on a bye this week, and they're supposed to be a lot better than us and everything. But, and they just got Christian McCaffrey or whatever. But, hey, you know what? Let's play them again. I can't wait for that next time. Yeah, they're going to come up and see us this time. So, and our 12th, man, the 12s, that's a big difference like we talked about last week. We were both there. When you're in our stadium, those teams struggle.
It's a different game, dude. It's a different game.
It really is. It really is. Coach talks about it all the time, how much we could help, put some weight on the game and how much we could help the momentum of the game at certain times. Especially when we felt like a blitz was coming on or something, and we just make this even louder so that they can't get their snap count or their cadence in place. All those dynamics right there are really important. A lot of people don't think about that, but if you're really focused like we are in depth and always like looking at everything, we're probably not looking at a microscope like some, but we're more focused than most. So it's just like when you look at all that, the dynamics of it, all those little details make sense and can make swing the momentum of a ball game.
It's an exciting time to be a Seattle Seahawks fan here, Rich. I'm looking at the schedule, and next week, obviously, we have the Buccaneers at a 6:30 in the morning game. We're playing in Munich, Germany. I mean, talk about a nail biter. The Buccaneers, man, totally choking it in the fourth quarter. And the Buccaneers beat the LA Rams. I'm sorry, the LA Rams choking in the fourth quarter. The Buccaneers coming out with a win, but here we are next week against the Buccaneers. Still, I believe I'm not too sure if they're at 500 right now or not, but it's an exciting time, though. It's an exciting time.
They were both choking, let's face it, because none of them scored shit that whole game. So it's just like it came down to the last quarter.
Is that what it came down to? I didn't watch that game. So I was watching.
Oh, yeah. It was one of those ones. They were behind, and then the Rams were behind. Actually, the Rams had a small lead. It was only like field goal game, it looked like. We didn't watch it. I just kept looking at it. It was like 9-12 or something. And then Brady had his last chance at it, and I think he drove down, and they got a touchdown.
That's good.
And that's what took place. It was late run, fourth quarter style stuff. Brady, classic Brady. But yeah, going back to Germany, I think we're going to get out there earlier than the other team. I don't know what the Bruce Arians or whoever the coaches of them, but Pete Carroll was known to we talked about it, bring the team out there early to let them acclimate to the time zone and all that. So my wife we have a side bet on that of when we think they're going to arrive. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for us to go to the world stage and just beat the Buccaneers and keep that streak going. I don't see how they have any better momentum, or not momentum's not the word. They don't have any edge. They're
not even on like a they're like a one game winning streak. They've lost like the last 3 games prior, and they won this week against the Rams.
And we're more international than, I mean, the Seahawks have more international fans. At least maybe I'm biased, but
I think we're biased. We're a little.
I think we're biased, but we'll see. Let's watch the stadium when they're there. It's a really nice stadium too, and it's a really far trip to Germany. So the Seahawks are up for a challenge. And I think they're going to take advantage of that challenge. And I think we're going to put up another win. It's going to be 7-3.
Now the question is, do we wake up at 6:30 next Sunday morning and watch the game live? Is that something we're going to do next week, Rich?
Well, dude, I'll be up. But that's a good.
I'll be up.
This will be one of those ones where I'm certain you'll use your DVR.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have the NFL Network, dude. So they said that you can stream on the NFL app. So I'm like, all right, I guess I have to download the NFL app and wake up at like 6, get some coffee, and let's go, dude. Let's go Hawks.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's what's going to happen next Sunday, dude.
I just know that a lot of times you DVR it.
I do, every game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, this will be a classic one for Kevin to DVR because you're usually not as early a bird as I am, just because of our schedules. They're different.
What time did you get up this morning, Rich?
Well, I don't know daylight saving times wise, but I think my normal time was about 5 in the morning or something.
Yeah, I was
every morning.
I didn't get up till 10:30 this morning, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. And when I had to work at the office, it's like, about an hour earlier than that. So it's like, yeah. So it's a different schedule we have. So it's nice that we can get on here on a Sunday and
that's right.
Get this project, this podcast that we're doing, which is fun. I like it.
We'll have to trade some text messages during the live during the game. Okay, so I'll be like, I'm up, I'm here.
No, what we got to do is we got to go more often and just be there at the same time, and not just be like, hey, let's meet here for 5 minutes and talk. We're gonna go and we're gonna sit in those seats of mine at some point.
Let's do it. I'm there
for sure. Yeah,
for sure, dude. All right. Well, okay. So I know, like we were talking about, next week we got Tampa Bay. This week, though, we defeated your Arizona Cardinals again. Like, I'm pretty excited. We have a 2-game lead in the NFC West right now. Like we talked about, the 49ers are coming up, but checking the schedule, we're not going to be facing the 49ers, Rich, until December the 15th. So we still have a good months away. We're going to be playing the Carolina Panthers. We're going to be playing the Los Angeles Rams for the first time. Man, like you said, going to Munich next week, it's an exciting time to be a Seattle Seahawks fan. That's for sure.
I think so as well, and I like it when they go international. I don't know about the whole international thing overall with the NFL and how that's going to work out. But if we have to go and we're doing it, then I like that we prepare well. So I'm expecting a win here. I'm gonna say that we're gonna win this one because it's all about those expectations that we have now.
That's right, Rich Harris. Hell yeah, dude. Any final words going into next week, week 10 of the NFL week?
I think the only thing I wanted to say was I wanted to point out about those rookies and the October accolades that came across the NFL.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm. The offensive rookie of October was K9, Kenneth Walker, I believe, right? And then the defensive rookie was Tariq Woolen. And then we had Gino, I think, was the overall player of October. I don't have it 100% certain. I think that's pretty accurate though, but I know that all three of those guys were October players of the month, and two rookies that have never been offensive, defensive players of the month that were both rookies since the award was incepted. So anybody can fact check me any day long, because I've had a few drinks today. I've been celebrating my
It's
my
celebration
team.
time, Rich. It's a
Yeah.
celebration.
So I always leave room for error and options when I don't try to speak facts if I can't stand behind them, and that's who I am. So, but yeah, I don't know the fucking full logistics of it, but that's a big accolade. And then the Gino chants in Arizona. Did you hear that? The whole stadium at times, Gino, Gino, Gino. And again, I'll go back to the wife. It's just such an easy name to chant. I'm like, it is, isn't it? But especially when he's deserving it, because he comes through like that pick six that he had, and it was ugly. It was not good. And most quarterbacks, if they're full of themselves in their head, they'll go back and get pissed, slam their helmet or whatever. We see it time and time again. I've seen it all week on the highlights this week. Gino went back and shook his head, and he was like, nah, that's not me. That's not me. And then he went out, performed again. They put up the stat. He was like 10 of 12 or something. And then, you know what I mean? And just, I don't know. The guy faces adversity. He takes that negativity and turns it into something positive. And I love it. I love that about him, because he doesn't dig a hole. He climbs out of it. It's not even a hole at that point. He just says, you know what? This gives me something to put just an immediate chip on my shoulder in this ball game. And I want to move forward. And those are the way that Gino chants come usually, is we see something like that and we just go, this is amazing. Gino, and they were even doing it in the away stadium. So we had a lot of fans there, I guess.
No, it's like you said, dude. Geno Smith, dude. 26 for 34, 275 yards today, dude. He was averaging 8.1 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, unfortunately, and he got 2 sacks, amounting to 12 yards lost. Dude, like you said, dude, Geno, it's such an easy name to chant, like you said. I think we've been talking about it the last couple of weeks. That chant, dude, it's so easy. Geno. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, the way he's putting the numbers up, dude. Like he's doing his reads, and he's getting the advances that he needs. He's getting exactly what he needs when he comes to the plays that he calls. I guess the offensive coordinator.
No, they call it. He's going through his progressions.
Yes.
Yeah. And you and I learn all these terms together, and we go back and forth on this. So it's like, yeah, he's doing the science of it every time, and he's relaxed at it. He's not getting. He's not getting emotional too much. Even though Coach, I don't know if you heard, Coach was like, yeah, he's got a temper. And he gets, that's that time when Coach told him to kind of center, on the last game or whatever. But Gino definitely is headstrong, but in a good way. You can see it. And he's confident, and he wants to win. So that's, I just wanted to point out those things about Gino and the rookies and all of them getting the award. That's about all I got, though, as far as last comments.
Those are some great comments there, Rich. I gotta say, dude, like the fact that we came out of October doing so well. I mean, let's definitely progress forward into November. Obviously, today withstanding, we're there. We're moving forward. We're moving forward into the season, and I definitely want to see Geno Smith, shout out DK Metcalf, and fucking Tyler Lockett, both scoring touchdowns today in today's game. Like it's. Again, looking to Munich next week, I'm very pleasantly optimistic.
Yep. And the last little tidbit, now that you said those two, DK and Lockett have a lot of coverage from the Cardinals, and that's what opened up Noah Fant to have a big game, and the run game like that, because you may not have seen a whole lot of activity like you might think of DK and them. A touchdown is great from both of them, but when they're expecting it, and we have those other sideshow people that can get in there, Will Dissly as well, Noah Fant, and dude, come come on. It's just like, you try to focus on our main guys. We got some guys will slip in there on you, but that's about the last words. I think those were the last words I got tonight.
There we go, Rich Harris. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin Porter for Rich Harris. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
All right.
Can you win the game in the first quarter? No! Can you win the game in the second quarter? No! Can you win the game in the third quarter? No! Can you win the game in the fourth quarter?